What started out as a heated argument quickly escalated into one of the most explosive and violent confrontations in reality TV history. Latisha and Stormy didn't just exchange harsh words, things turned physical. Security was forced to step in, and both women were ultimately escorted off the Love and Marriage Huntsville set. But what exactly triggered the fight, and who's actually telling the truth? You won't believe what happened behind the scenes until now. This wasn't just a minor blow-up. It was a full-scale, no-limits brawl that brought production of Love and Marriage Huntsville to an abrupt standstill. Latisha Scott and Stormy Steele, two of the show's most talked about cast members, were never exactly friends. But no one could have predicted just how far things would go. What began as tension over respect, betrayal, and rumors circulating off camera quickly exploded into a physical altercation, leaving producers no choice but to shut down the entire set and eject both women from filming. And while viewers are still trying to piece together what really went down, this video breaks it all down from eyewitness accounts to the firestorm on social media, and the deeper reason this confrontation went nuclear. We're diving into everything the cameras did catch, and just as importantly, the things they didn't. You'll finally hear the story that was never shown on TV. Why? Because both Latisha and Stormy are now under review by OWN network higher-ups after one of them reportedly sent a chilling message following their removal from set. You won't believe who sided with who or which one has now been permanently cut from returning.
And at the heart of it all, a shocking secret that might just be the real spark behind the chaos. This is where the drama turns raw and very, very real. So get comfortable, because this isn't just another TV moment. This is the uncut truth. Behind the madness, before fists flew and security was called, there were months, possibly even years of subtle digs, silent tension, and mounting pressure between Latisha Scott and Stormy Steele. Fans may have noticed the rising friction on screen, but what they didn't see was the quiet storm building off camera. Latisha, a longtime face of Love and Marriage Huntsville, built her reputation around family loyalty and business success, but what many don't see is how strongly she clings to control, especially when it comes to how she's portrayed. On the other hand, Stormy entered the scene ready to shake things up. As a bold businesswoman with no filter, she had no interest in playing it safe. Stormy showed up loud, confident, and completely unapologetic, and that immediately clashed with Latisha's energy. At first, it was subtle. Stormy would question Latisha's decisions during interviews, and Latisha would fire back with shady, backhanded remarks at group events. Then social media threw fuel on the fire. Fans quickly picked sides. Every glance, every comment became meme-worthy, only making things worse. But the drama reached a boiling point during the recent Women in Business event aired earlier this season. According to insiders, producers expected a little tension maybe. Some sharp words, but no one saw what was coming. Onlookers say it all erupted when Stormy made a pointed remark suggesting that some women hide behind their husbands' accomplishments. A statement that struck a nerve with Latisha, who's repeatedly defended her independence from her husband Marcel's business. Word is, Latisha confronted Stormy away from the cameras. She told her straight up if there was something she wanted to say, she should come out with it directly, not hide behind sneaky remarks or shady interviews. Stormy didn't hold back with her clapback either. You're not the only woman on this show who's built something, sis. Let's not get it twisted. I was already successful before these cameras ever started rolling. From that moment on, the energy completely shifted. Every group scene after that was thick with tension. According to multiple reports, producers were forced to reshoot several takes because the two refused to stand near each other, talk to one another, or even act like the other existed. And the craziest part? This wasn't just about bruised egos. Sources connected to production revealed that actual business opportunities and possible partnerships were at risk because of the feud. Stormy was said to be in talks with OWN about launching a spin-off focusing on her fast-growing business empire. But Latisha reportedly pushed back, casting doubt on whether Stormy's motives were authentic or if she was simply using the platform to chase fame. That accusation that Stormy was clout chasing is what set everything off. But here's where the drama really starts to unravel. Word started going around that Stormy had stumbled upon some private, sensitive information about Latisha's husband, Marcel. Details that, if revealed publicly, could detonate everything. Insiders say Latisha got wind of it, and from there, things started spiraling fast. Then came the day nobody on set will forget. It was supposed to be just another day of filming. The cast had gathered at a neutral spot in Huntsville for what producers hoped would be a peace circle, a scene meant to ease the long-running tension between the two women. But instead of healing wounds, it ripped them wide open. The set was silent when Latisha walked in. Insiders described her outfit, a soft beige jumpsuit, hair perfectly styled, face composed, but if you looked closer, you could see she was holding something back. Stormy arrived shortly after, dressed head to toe in red. The symbolism? Not lost on a single person in the room. At first, the atmosphere seemed calm. Carlos King, famous for stirring the pot and creating explosive moments reportedly, opened things with one piercing question. What do you think the other person doesn't understand about you? Stormy answered first. Her voice was cool, her delivery sharp but wrapped in her signature shade. I think Latisha doesn't realize that not everybody's willing to fake it just to stay on this show. Some of us keep it real all the time, and I'm not going to apologize for calling out phony energy. Latisha shifted slightly in her chair, staying quiet for a beat. But when it was her turn, she didn't hold back. What Stormy doesn't understand is that there's a difference between keeping it real and just being plain rude. I won't let anyone come at me sideways, especially not someone who just got here. That was the breaking point, the moment it all went left. Eyewitnesses say Stormy stood up and clapped back. Say it with your chest, Tisha. If you've got something to say, let's just put it all on the table right now. Latisha, never one to back down from a challenge, stood up too. From that point, the shouting only intensified. Voices were raised. Then it got physical. What happened next shocked even the most experienced producers. Stormy shoved the table aside, closing the gap between them. Security rushed in, but they weren't quick enough. One insider reports that Latisha lunged forward, throwing a punch at Stormy, who immediately pushed her back and slapped her. Chaos broke out on set. Producers were screaming to cut the cameras. But by then, multiple people had already whipped out their phones to start recording. Crew members were scrambling. One person working behind the scenes was reportedly hit in the shoulder while trying to step in. Though the fight didn't even last 30 seconds, the aftermath was instant and explosive. Stormy could be heard yelling, "You've been begging for this, and now you got it." Meanwhile, Latisha, while being escorted out, allegedly shouted, "You run your mouth too much. Let's see how tough you are off camera." And just like that, production came to a grinding halt. OWN executives were informed within just a few hours. Both women were suspended from filming, pending an internal review. Sources behind the scenes say Carlos King was absolutely livid, not just because of the physical fight, but because both women knew the rules. Physical aggression is a hard no for the network, no exceptions allowed. But what truly caught fans, and even some fellow cast members off guard, was what came next. A 14-second cell phone clip of the altercation leaked on Twitter less than 2 days later. Though the footage was low quality and quickly taken down by OWN's legal team, it still showed enough Latisha being restrained, Stormy shouting, and producers in full panic mode. The internet's response? Immediate and explosive. Hashtags like hashtag Stormy snapped, hashtag Team Latisha, and hashtag LAMHFightgate started trending almost instantly. The memes poured in. Blogs went into overdrive with coverage. YouTube channels exploded with hot takes and speculation. But the biggest shock of all came later that night. Stormy took to Instagram Live not to apologize, but to make a bold statement. Some people think just cause they've been on TV longer, they can treat everyone else like trash. This ain't high school. I said what I said, and I meant every move I made. Latisha wasn't about to stay quiet either, though. Her clapback was subtler but equally sharp. She posted a photo holding a Bible with the caption, "When the enemy comes against me, I stay rooted. God sees all." Both posts were taken down within 12 hours, but the screenshots? They're still making the rounds everywhere. And that's when things took a darker turn. Rumors started swirling that OWN might be gearing up for a major cast shakeup. One or even both of these women may not return. And while the cameras captured the yelling, the chaos, and the physical showdown that left audiences stunned, what the footage didn't catch is what really lit the fuse. Because the Truth is, this blow-up wasn't just about shady remarks, social media drama, or clashing egos. This confrontation was ignited by a betrayal so deep that both women felt blindsided not by each other but by someone they both trusted. Sources close to production say the tension between Latisha and Stormy had been simmering for months set. Off by one thing, a leaked phone call involving none other than Martell Scott. Stormy's unfiltered honesty, tough demeanor, and rising mogul status have helped attract a younger, more business-minded audience, the exact type of viewers OWN has been targeting. Dropping either woman could seriously backfire, but keeping both on the show? That might send a completely wrong signal. So now the big question is, what will OWN do next? According to someone inside the production, the network has handed down temporary suspension notices to both Latisha and Stormy. At the moment, neither of them will be appearing in any upcoming group scenes, and all one-on-one confessionals have been paused indefinitely. But it doesn't end there. Executives are also said to be weighing the addition of a probation clause for both cast members. If either of them is involved in another physical incident or even stirs up drama online again, they'll be permanently removed. But this is where things get even messier. OWN is now taking a closer look at other cast members who may have played a behind-the-scenes role in fueling the fire, particularly 2 women suspected of circulating the leaked audio and spreading misinformation that triggered the betrayal. One of them is allegedly close with both Stormy and Leticia, and producers believe she may have intentionally stirred things up to stay in the spotlight and lock in a storyline. Her identity hasn't been officially released, however, several sources say her days on the show could be numbered. Fans are already speculating online, and hashtags like #LAM, HSnakeInTheGrass, and #WhoSetThemUp have been trending ever since a popular YouTuber dropped a theory video pointing to clues from recent episodes. And let's not forget OWN's top concern. Right now, it's public image. Sponsors are watching closely. Because this series isn't just about on-screen conflict, it's funded through advertising, crossover promotions, and partnerships with Black-owned brands. If OWN is seen as tolerating violent or toxic behavior without serious consequences, those business relationships, many of which go far beyond just love and marriage, Huntsville could be in serious jeopardy. So what's the plan? Sources reveal that OWN is thinking about bringing in a neutral third party, a respected figure from the relationship or faith space, to mediate and guide on-camera conversations between the 2 women. Imagine something like an Oprah-style sit-down blended with a Bravo-style reunion energy, but here's the twist: Stormy has reportedly already turned that idea down. She allegedly told producers she refuses to fake any kind of resolution just for the cameras, and unless Latisha publicly apologizes for what happened, she won't film with her again. Latisha, meanwhile, has stayed publicly quiet, but insiders say her team is privately pushing for OWN to take a tougher stance on Stormy. They claim Stormy was the one who escalated things, and that her actions were calculated and deliberate. At the same time, fans are demanding full accountability. Viewers want the truth. Who leaked that audio? Who stirred the pot behind the scenes? And who's truly to blame for this blow-up? OWN knows this situation could either boost the season to new heights or completely derail it. While final decisions are still being made, one thing is already obvious: this fight has left lasting damage within the cast. Trust has been broken. Friendships have ended, and behind the scenes, alliances are crumbling fast.